we're going to rewind. You mentioned Chris Benoit there. We're not going to dwell on what happened there, but the interesting thing about that was you were there at the time where Vince set up his own death, and I had Rory McAllister. I know you know Rory as well. I seen you took some photos of him over in Japan. Some great photos. And Rory said to me that he just knew that this wasn't right and something was going to happen. Did you get that feeling, or what was your impression around that storyline?
Well, it was the explosion was right after my second son was born, so I wasn't there for that whole taping, and all the other guys were there, and then we see the whole production when they put it together. It was like pretty seamless. The foot in the car exploding. Now we're in Corpus Christi, and we're being told that show was Vince's funeral. Like they were going to do a memoriam, and it was all just going to be haha at Vince's expense. And we were told what was going to happen, and they're going to drop the casket and all this goofy, your typical wrestling stuff. And we're in our room, our studio space, and then somebody walks in. They're like, "Everybody's got to come out to the ring." And one of the photographers in me goes, "You think it's about Chris?" I'm like, "I don't know." And then we're all sitting on one side of the arena, and Vince has a microphone and tells everybody what happened, and just gasps. Crew talent, everybody that worked on the show was sitting, and that was it. And it's, well, we're going to do a tribute. And I had split. We two of the guys stayed behind, and we were going to San Antonio, so I left with one of the makeup artists. And I called home. I was like, this is what happened. And then one of the guys calls me, like, they're saying reports coming out now that, he did it. But the whole thing with Vince was just comedy to me. With the way they were setting up Vince was all ha.
It was just the timing, wasn't it?
But I didn't really think, the Chris stuff overhead was still kind of, nobody knows where he is. And, some guys, like, when he doesn't want to communicate, you can't get a hold of him. That's how he lives. That's how some of the veterans that were friends with him said he was. So that everybody just figured he was sick. He didn't want to deal with anybody. He wouldn't answer the phone. And then we get, then we find out what happened, and the rest is history.